God bless fat dykes and studs in my life, in my personal life, in my crowds, the ones I'll never meet that have defined queer history and queer rights forever. Hi, I'm Lucy Dacus, and today we're looking back at some moments that have shaped me as an artist. Oh my God. So it's this type of thing. My stomach just sank. I don't know if it's good or bad. Should I push play? I'm like gonna throw up. This is a video of me performing with the Moors. The Moors were a band. It's Preston Cochran and Scotty Prideaux, who I have recorded with a ton since. That was the first time I'd ever sung with a band. They asked me to come sing Just Like Heaven by The Cure, one of my favorite songs. It is my favorite song because my first boyfriend in middle school was like, this is our song. And so then I listened to it so much that the next boy that had a crush on me was like, this is our song. And then this happened like kind of over and over. And so at the show, I was like, cool, I'll go and sing this song. And then the front row, my first middle school boyfriend, my ex, another person that was trying to date me, a person that I was trying to date, all with 1 foot, the stage is like this tall, 1 foot on the stage, like singing every word as if like we're having a moment. My good friend Alex, at the time, just once the song was over, pulled me off stage. It was like, we're getting in the car, we need to get out of here. One day I just saw they had a show and I didn't know about the show. And I was like, what's up with that? Like, we didn't have band practice. What's up? And they were like, oh, yeah, like unceremoniously out of the band. 2016, release of No Burden. And it's a picture of me at Lollapalooza, which, by the way, they were like, you're on the Gaga stage. So I had the opening slot on the smallest stage, and they were like, this is actually a huge honor. Lady Gaga played this slot, and it's like really coveted. I think they paid me, like $250 or like $500 or something, like something that was basically zero. But I was like, let me do it. I really want to. I think I was nervous, but I had like so many people around me. It was like so fun. We had a 15-passenger van we were touring in for the band, and then every extra seat we filled with friends, and we would camp. I have like recurring back pain from touring like that. So the same friend, Alex Mitchell, that pulled me off the stage of the Moore show, is like a stylist, and I've worked with her a bunch. It was her idea for the Boygenius Rolling Stone cover to be the Nirvana copy. She handed me Mac Ruby Woo one day and was like, wear this at shows. And I was like, okay. And I didn't have another piece of makeup for like many years, and just a red lip convinces people you know what's happening. I still wear it a lot, but obviously not all the time. It was kind of maybe like a crutch, not like a serious crutch that's like so dramatic, but I was like, oh, I can't be seen without this. And now I'm like more lighthearted.
Okay, growth.
Okay, growth.
Okay,
growth. Yeah. Release of Historian 2018. I've always like been afraid of losing my memory, and all these things that I'm making are mostly for me to have later. Music has always been an outlet for me. I want to like make this album that like shows people what my thoughts are about life, realizing that like we make all these histories, but the histories like outlive us. Obviously like Night Shift is on that record, and that it's like my one breakup song. I feel like it's still finding people in their dark, sad times, and why make recordings if not for that reason? Ding. Yeah, Boygenius forums. You want to hear about it?
Yeah, I think so.
And this is us playing Seth Meyers, I think. I had opened for Julien at DC9 9 years ago this past January, and Phoebe opened another date of her tour. She talked us up to each other, made us meet. We liked each other, and then we all were going on tour, and we should just do a song to do for the encore. That'll be cute. And then we did 6 songs, and it's a whole band, and like that tour, 1 month tour, became, people were looking forward to those songs, and then we disappeared for 5 years. The night I met Julien is probably the most important night of my life for lots of reasons. I mean, meeting Julien is its own reason. Like, we just kept talking like that day and every day since. Phoebe, obviously, like that's my family. I don't know, I moved to LA to be closer to Phoebe. We show each other everything. Like, it's definitely changed my music in that I have two other great minds to put through my own thoughts and like a sieve come out with something better. That's not really what sieves do, but I like the visual. Yeah, I feel like I got smarter, I got stupider, I have more fun. I take myself less seriously, but I also like what I do more. Zoop. 2021, 3 years have passed. Nothing happened. Release of home video. And you have the music video for VBS, which is a beautiful animated video by Marin Leong, one of my oldest friends who did all the art for that album cycle. Thank you, Marin, for your service. And I'm from Richmond, Virginia. We're here in DC. It feels kind of like home. And it's a Sunday. And I haven't like been to church in a long time, but I still think about God all the time. I was like obsessed with church growing up, like almost every night of the week, going to church, going to vacation Bible school, going over to friends' houses and doing Bible study as our hanging out method, like not even sanctioned stuff. Like me and my friends were just singing Christian rock at each other's houses on acoustic guitar. Maybe a ukulele. Have you heard of this? Like love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. That's in the Bible. Those are all still really good. So I like still, there's stuff that has like hung out with me since youth, and yeah, it's all over this record.
What did it feel like to write such personal stuff and know that so many people were gonna have access to it?
Putting out music is really unpleasant. I think that's something I'm like coming to terms with, because I think I always trick myself and like, no, I love this. What an amazing feeling. No, putting out music feels so bad. I think it's worth it. I'm not writing thinking someone will hear this. I write knowing I have the rights to never tell anyone anything. This next record, I've never been more freaked out than right now. Like doing promo for a record that's not out that is even more personal than this, because this at least I had distance from the material, whereas like the new one is all like very present. 2023 True Blue music video. Kristen Stewart is everything you would hope she would be. She has all of these amazing ideas, and when she was like, here's how it's gonna be, she like went into actor mode and was like going into the corner and like showing, you know, or like how Julien was supposed to wake up from bed in the $20 video, or just like, you know, I was supposed to cry. She's like, I want you to cry like this. And then she made eye contact with me and just started crying. And I was like, oh, so acting really is a skill. This video, like I like wrote up a treatment for it, and it was kind of like both of our ideas married, and we were like passing books back and forth. So fun playing with the paint. Just like, I don't know how you can make this scenario happen in your life, but just pour some paint on the ground and move around. 2023 Night Shift music video. I love this. I'm really proud of this. Jane Schumbrun, now lauded director and then lauded director of I Saw the TV Glow and We're All Going to the World's Fair. Jane rocks. And it was so fun to watch direct. Jane was like, I manifested that we're working together. And I said, yes, Jane. Anything you say. So I think that was just some like cosmic pairing. But it was cool to do the music video 5 years after the song came out because of the 5 years lyric. And this, song never got a music video. And then Jane was like, what if it's like kink conference, like Wizard of Oz kink in a love hotel? I was like, go forth. I think super visually, to me, albums are kind of like movies. Like every song is a scene, and so you have to think about like pacing and contrast and what people earn in like the plot of it. So a lot of the times, like my favorite songs are at the end because that's like what you've earned thematically. But yeah, I have ideas. I put them in a note in my phone sometimes. And that's, I think, how it should be. You should not make a music video unless you have an idea that is a piece of art you can be proud of on its own. It's not just a promotional tool. I should rewatch this. This shit bangs. 2025 Best Guest Music Video. You skipped the ankles video, but that's okay. I love this video. I have been wanting to like talk about this. The original idea, so it's the first love song where I use like she pronouns. So I was like, okay, like my first really overtly gay tune, like what if it's like a bachelor party for me with a bunch of other people in like groom bachelor attire doing some guy shit like arm wrestling and playing pool and just like what we could fit in a studio in a one-day shoot. I think toxic masculinity is involved in our current political state, like in widespread like transphobia and homophobia. So I was like, what about some like joyful examples of masculinity, which is within anyone, like of any gender. So it's like we have men and women and non-binary people engaging with masculinity. I think the song was the perfect pairing for that idea. It was such a wonderful day. There's been kind of like some response that it's like been disappointing. So let me say out loud, happily, God bless fat dicks and studs in my life, in my personal life, in my crowds, the ones I'll never meet that have defined queer history and queer rights forever. Would have loved also to have more fat dicks and studs in the video. We reached out to some. It was a tight turnaround. And despite that, over half the cast is not white. You know, I don't want to like speak on it too much because it's other people's identities in the conversation. It's not just like my art. Just wish that like these really sweet people hadn't gotten ugly energy. But ultimately, like I've also been getting really amazing messages from people. There's like elder queers who are like, I have buried friends from AIDS. Like I never thought something like this would exist. I've heard from like parents with like really young queer kids that are like, I'm so glad that my kid can like see a person, a non-binary person with top surgery scars. One of the participants told me they have like a group of friends in Palestine. A bunch of Palestinian dykes were like super touched by this, which made me like burst into tears. So I'm super proud of like where it's ending up in the world, and I hope that ultimately it can be like a positive thing. 2025, Forever is a Feeling. Coming out March 28th.
Is forever a feeling?
Yes, forever is a feeling. Forever is a feeling that passes, but as it's happening, it's forever. I feel like if you have felt it, you know what I'm talking about, which is maybe annoying to say, but like, you know, everything passes. I stay obviously aware of how time takes everything away from us, but like the moments that you feel you're within forever and in love or in presence or have peace, like those like ring on and mean something. It'd be better if we valued love for what it can be in the present moment than for what it can be counted upon in the future. You know what I'm saying? Like the future is uncertain and things change, and you should accept the love that you can get in the moments that you can and give the love that you can and not be like bartering with it like money.
And is there anything else that you want people to know about this album?
If you can, please approach this album with an open heart. Please. Okay, that's it. I'm Lucy Dacus, and this has been Becoming.